Then she proceeds to shove her hand up to this point into my vagina. They're gonna call child services on me. I've never begged for flatulence so hard in my life. These yiddies is going yang. What's up? I'm Misha OD and welcome back to my channel. I don't know what that was, but welcome back to another video. I decided to just put some makeup on today. Real truth, I'm re-recording a video that I did yesterday. So originally I had recorded a video yesterday and I did not like my makeup look. Yeah. But I wanted to do something for myself today to kind of pick up my mood. So I decided I'm gonna put on some makeup. I'm gonna try to be quick because I don't have a lot of time. In honor of Mother's Day, which is tomorrow, I decided I'm gonna do a video just giving you guys an update about how I feel about being a mom so far. My son is 17 months old. I hate saying that. He's a year and almost 6 months. So there were a few things that I talked about in my video that I really wanted to touch on that were really important to me. One of the questions I had asked myself was, how do I feel about being a mom? What so far? That's pretty much what I want to talk about with you guys today. I am just gonna go ahead and do my brows and then come back because that usually takes me too long. And trying to talk to you guys while doing my brows is just not gonna work, so I'll be right back. So we're back and the brows are done. We're gonna move on. First, I'm gonna show you guys what I used on my brows. So I used the Maybelline Super Stay in the color Mocha, which is 360. The Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the color, oh, and then I dropped it, in the color Hazelnut. And I used a little tiny bit of my P. Louise base in Rumor 04. So I used a little bit of that on like the outer part. That's why it's so light there. And then I used the Hazelnut Age Rewind concealer and Mocha foundation on the inner part of my brows and to clean up the top part of my brows. So the brows are done. We're just gonna move on. I never talked to you guys about what happened after my labor and delivery, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that and basically we'll go from there. If you haven't watched my labor and delivery video, please go check that video out. It is also on my channel. But I labored for 3 days and it was chaotic, to say the least. I wouldn't dilate past 4 centimeters for about almost a day and a half. I wanted a natural birth. I did not want to go to the hospital, but then I didn't get past 4 centimeters. So he had Marconia, so we had to end up going to the hospital. And my hospital experience was okay, to say the least. I had to get an epidural. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Trying to like stay still when your body is in so much pain is probably one of the most difficult things you'll probably ever do. But you know, you push through. Jelani was there to help me through that, so without him, I don't know if I would have been able to survive that, you know, that portion of the birthing. After going through all of the different processes, right, I ended up having to get a C-section because my son's heart rate was continuing to go down. And so if I had kept going, there was a chance that it would be an emergency, and that was something I didn't want. So I ended up having a C-section. Whoa, not loving this right now. trust the process, sis. Trust the process. Trust the process. Fast forward, you know, I have my son. The C-section went really well, and I couldn't have asked for, you know, a better outcome. My recovery nurse was amazing. Having a C-section, let's talk about that. So trippy, okay? The fact that you can't feel nothing from here down, and the whole time I had to cough, and I couldn't cough. I actually physically could not feel the sensation to cough. It kind of made me sad, because I think about like people who go through like car accidents, and then they wake up and they're like paraplegic or quadriplegic, and it's such a major change. You just wake up one day and you can't use your legs or your arms. Very scary. So if that ever happened to you, I am so sorry. And you are stronger than you would ever know, because that was terrifying for me. I cried after because I couldn't even hold him. The nurse had to just plop my son on my chest, and I instantly threw up. It was just wild. I had a terrible night nurse. Her name was Mary. I really wanted to breastfeed, and this lady basically told me if I don't give my son formula, they're gonna call child services on me. And this was only like six, maybe 9 hours after I had him. She told me if I don't give my son formula to eat right now, because she didn't have the patience to help me nurse and all of that. She told me she was gonna call child services. Yeah. She was so mean. She was a horrible lady, and I definitely wrote her up for that. I wrote that lady's name I wrote her down by name, her and the surgeon. One of the surgeons I had was very dismissive towards my midwife, and was very dismissive towards what I wanted. I basically had to tell them, like, my midwife is not leaving. I know she's supposed to take over now that I'm in the hospital, but she's not leaving. So I need her to advocate for me. She's not leaving. Because the surgeon wanted to keep my son in, even though his heart rate kept going down, because she just wanted to see if I can push him out naturally. And this is after the other surgeon had already came in, gave me the whole what's it nots about what, gave me all of, you know, the risks that come with a C-section and whether I still want to do it. And I already signed the papers. This lady comes in late and then wants to tell me, wants to ignore what I had already signed and requested to do, what the other surgeon had already signed up for me to do, what my midwife is advocating for me to do, just to wait and see what happens, even though his heart rate's already going down. Then she proceeds to shove her hand up to this point into my vagina and did not even tell me her name. And if you work in healthcare, then you know you have to introduce yourself to the patient. Every time you walk into a room, you have to let them know what you're here for, what you're here to do, and they have to give you consent in order to do so. Miss Ma'am did not get my consent. So wrote her up too. I felt like I was just a body. I was just a body. My son was me. We were just an experiment. It was so bad. You're usually supposed to wait 48 hours. The minimum is 36 hours. By the 36th hour, I was out of there. I was out of that hospital. It was 10 o'clock at night and I did not care. I was getting out of that hospital. I did not want to be there anymore. The night nurse was horrible. I did not want to spend another night in the hospital. I was begging God for me to take a shit and for me to pass gas, because that's one of the things that you have to do before they release you. Baby, begging. I've never begged for flatulence so hard in my life. It didn't get any better. So when I had to go do my 1 week checkup with my son, a part of my incision, part of it was leaking, so it wasn't closed up, but I was still told to take the strips off, so I did. So what ended up happening is a whole part of my incision swole up. It was so big and it was leaking clear fluid. So of course I'm panicking now because it's not getting better. And I'm already dealing with the breastfeeding and everything. Long story short, I had to go back to the hospital. They had to reopen a part of my incision, drain it, and it left like a 5 to 8 centimeter hole that was about 2 to 4 centimeters deep. Honey, I was so mad that I had to even deal with that. They did not staple and stitch, they just stitched it, so a part of it didn't heal properly. It was such a disaster. Then I had to have, and this is in the middle of a pandemic, so I also had to have someone come and do my dressing every single day. I had to have that happen for about 2 weeks, and then I decided I didn't want to keep having to do that, or they didn't want to keep having to send somebody. So what ended up happening is I had to basically prove that I could do my own dressing, and so that's what I did. I basically did my own dressing while having a new baby. Was extremely stressful. And then on top of that, I had issues with breastfeeding. One of the main reasons why I did this video is because I want to talk about the fact that because I had such an issue with breastfeeding, I did everything. So I have flat nipples. I know this is TMI, but we're here. And so I didn't know about nipple training prior to, you know, birth, and so I did not nipple train. And because I did not nipple train, my son was not a fan of my flat nipples. If you don't know what I mean by flat nipples, this is my nipple and this is a nipple he wants. This is my nipple, this is a nipple he wants. This is my nipple, this is a nipple he wants. And it was so difficult to get him to latch. It was so exhausting trying to get him to latch. All of those things were attributing to stress. And so I did everything. I did a lactation class. I had, you know, all of those. I did all of the things and it didn't work out. And so I was just desperate looking for something, anything that would allow me to feed my son. I guess you could say naturally. And I hate that term. I hate when people say, did you birth your son naturally? Did you breastfeed naturally? Anything that has to do with coming out of the human body in terms of birth or breast milk is natural. Please stop saying naturally if somebody has to do something like exclusively pump or, you know, have a C-section or anything like that. Please stop. It's shameful. It makes people feel ashamed. It makes pregnant women feel ashamed. I know I felt ashamed. Please stop doing that. I wanted him to nurse directly from my breast, and I tried everything. That did not work out. Milk. I felt like, you know, I got the big old jugs. They might as well, you know, be good for something. You just say, I do not recommend exclusive pumping to new moms. I think that it is extremely stressful on the body, and for me, it caused postpartum depression. Let me also just say, this is my opinion. This is not fact. This is just me talking from my own experience. If this is not the experience that you've had with exclusive pumping, please ignore. But if you are looking into it, please, please, please be very mindful and understand that it takes a lot out on your body, on your mind, and your sleep. All of those things are very important when you are a new mom. So just be mindful of this process. And I pray that you don't do it out of guilt, because that is something that I did it out of. And even though it was with love, it was very harmful for me. I have a Milky Mama review video on my channel. I'm probably gonna put it up here on the screen, but you can also check that video out. And during that time, you're gonna see the thumbnail. I look tired, okay? On the thumbnail, I look tired. I look stressed. And that's because I was pumping every 4 hours. And what's so frustrating about all of that is that here on YouTube, you see all these moms with their exclusive pumping thumbnail, and they're just like, see how I got all this milk. And it was tired, okay? No sleep. You basically gotta stay empty. You gotta stay empty, and your body will continue to ask for more and will supply more. The problem with that is the pumping schedule. So the pumping schedule was chaotic for me. The pumping schedule was literally every 4 hours. Yep, you heard me. Every 4 hours. So 12 midnight, 4 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 noon, 4 p.m. Like literally, I was doing that. The problem with that is it is not sustainable. And even though in my video you see that I produced a lot of milk, but I was not sleeping properly because every 4 hours is not healthy for a new mom. I wasn't eating properly because it was really hard for me to like plan out proper nutritious meals while having to like take care of baby, take care of home, pump every 4 hours, pack away all the pumped milk, take care of baby, take care of home. It was just a lot. Take care of myself, take care of my incision. There was so much happening. I did this for about 6 months. And so that was my sleeping pattern. It was insane. So I just used concealer to give myself a little contour. But baby, what is happening here? I was tired. I just knew I couldn't do it anymore. As mother, everybody had felt some type of way and was kind of like pressuring me into like passively pressuring me, of course, to like, oh, breast is best and gotta make sure say I get enough milk and blah blah. And everybody just had all of these things to say, and it just made the guilt so much worse. And I'm not saying this to bash any of them because, you know, they're old school. You know, it is what it is. But it wasn't helpful to me. So if you have people around you that are pregnant, please don't pressure them to breastfeed if it's not in their body. Like, you know, if it's just not able to happen for them, because it doesn't happen that way for everybody. It's not easy for everybody. And to the passive aggressive comments like that, they don't help. They don't help. You try to limit those because they're not as helpful as you think they are. Using some residual because I really don't want to put a deep contour here, especially because I'm probably just gonna use bronzer anyways. But yeah, you're gonna blend that out because baby, it's a little dark. Henceforth, I noticed that things start to go wrong. Around July, at that point my son was about 7 months, 8 months. I was irritable, I was tired, I just had enough. But the sleeping habit was already so bad that I decided to see my doctor and talk to her about how I was feeling, what was going on. And that's when she told me that, baby girl, what you're saying to me, you have postpartum depression. And it was scary, but so relieving, you know, because I felt like I was going crazy, but it just felt good to like have somebody say, a medical professional look at me and say, oh no girl, this is happening to you. You're not making this up. But this is not just being a Black woman. This is not just being a mom. This is not just the stress of being a mother, because I have a support system. It's not like I don't have one, that I didn't have one that I was extremely grateful for. But you are definitely going through postpartum depression. And I feel like she also said that she felt like I was already depressed prior to getting pregnant. It's just, you know, there were some other, it just went unacknowledged, and then I got pregnant and it made matters much worse. So that wasn't surprising to me. It just felt so good to be heard. And that's why I feel like if you are a mom and you feel like this is happening to you, you feel foggy in your brain, you feel tired, you feel exhausted, you feel frustrated, you can't seem to enjoy mommyhood, you can't seem to enjoy the things that, like the time that is so beautiful, you just can't help but be sad, feel exhausted, feel guilty, feel shit, like talk to somebody. Go and talk to your doctor, because you never know, you know what I mean? Postpartum shows up in people in so many different ways, and I just feel like oftentimes, especially Black women, because our needs, our wants, our feeling, our pain, and our hurt never, you know, it goes unnoticed a lot of the times, especially in clinical settings. It's very important for you to advocate for yourself. Go out there and get some help, because it was the best thing that ever happened to me, going and getting help. I was able to get in touch with a therapist through Women's Health in Women's Hands. If you are in Toronto and you are a mom, a single mom, a Black mom, an Indigenous mom, a minority mother, if you're a mom and you live in Toronto and you cannot afford therapy, please reach out to Women's Health in Women's Hands. Sign up, get on the waiting list, do whatever you can to get some therapy. I was able to get some free therapy, and it was extremely helpful. I cannot stress how helpful that was. Please, if you live in the Toronto area and you need help, or you just had a baby and you feel stressed out and you feel tired and you feel like you need help and you need some support, reach out to Women's Health and Women's Hands. It was amazing for me. I was able to get some therapy, and baby girl needed it, and baby girl, you might need it too. So don't hesitate to reach out. I set my face with I'm like not telling you guys, with the Maybelline Fit Me in the color, I used medium. That's why, baby, no, you're supposed to be using dark. I'm supposed to be using deep, but I ended up using medium, which explains so much about my face right now. I hope it looks okay. I mean, I think it looks okay. Does it look okay? Oh, it looks fine. Oh, we look good. Okay, so yeah, I ended up starting therapy back in November. I think if you watch my vlogs, I talked about starting therapy or wanting therapy, and so I was able to get some, and I thank God that I did it. I'm grateful to the people, the women in my life that were supportive of me getting it, that supported me, that pointed me in the right direction, that gave me some direction. Without it, I can't even begin to tell you where I would be, what I would be doing. So I'm going to use my Morphe palette. This is the 35R palette. I'm putting I think I started with Almond Kiss though. Yeah, I did. So I'm putting Almond Kiss all over my eye. I was able to get myself some help, which I highly recommend if you feel like, you know, you are going through postpartum. Even if you think it and you're not sure, go talk to somebody. That's my high recommendation. About being a mom so far, I feel good. It's scary because you want to be right all the time. I get it now. Like, I get why parents, or like my mom, wanted to be right all the time. I get that, like, because someone is relying on you to know all the answers. Even if you don't know all the answers, you are expected to keep them safe. So that creates a type of like hypervigilance in you that is so hard to turn off. It's a scary thing. Also, how come nobody told me that being the mom of a toddler is ghetto? It is a ghetto place. So nobody ever said anything. Toddler stage is the most ghettoest stage of child raising. Them little boys, them little people are suicidal. And I know nobody wants to hear this, but suicidal. They have no fear. You have to teach them fear. I don't know how you do that. I still don't know how to do that, but you gotta teach them fear, baby. They don't have no fear. They will walk up to strangers, walk into the middle of the street. My son loves cars. Do you know how many times he runs into the road? Baby, my heart. The amount of times that my heart has jumped out of my chest is crazy. Ooh. Let's focus on moms here. The way my body has changed, that's really showing up. I like that. It's a subtle, you know, peachy looking. It's coming off burgundy on the camera, which is a little weird, but whatever. Hernias. How come nobody told me that my booty hole is gonna fall out my booty? Everybody says, have a baby, they said. It'll be fun, they say. Rewarding. And it is. It is rewarding. It's incrementally rewarding. It's a lot of switching your tone, but have a baby, they said. It'll be fun, they say. What I'm putting on my outer eye corner that looks so rosy or like burgundy-ish is Close Up. The color, it's the shade Close Up. That's what it says on here. I'm gonna go in with a darker color just to build my crease, and I'm gonna use the color Animated, which is like a dark chocolatey brown. So I'm just gonna bring that only up like right in here. I'm just focusing it right there, and I think I like that. Yeah, nobody thought that my booty hole was gonna fall out my booty and potentially not fully go back in. Because if someone told me that beforehand, I would have been so scared. And I absolutely understand people who don't want to have children because they're afraid of like what it's gonna do to your body. Be afraid. Be very afraid. It don't go back. It does not go back the way it came. It does not go back the way it came. Let me just say that. I'm not saying my booty hole is all the way falling out, but some of it has to get tucked back in. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I didn't even push. So just keep that in mind. Booty hole still fell out, so be more mindful, be more gentle to your mother, because she may not tell you that happened to her. I'm gonna use the color Spirit. It's like it's like this kind of peachy looking color, just on my lid with my finger, because I don't know, sometimes these Morphe palettes don't pick up well on brushes. But like in terms of major changes, not much. My titties have always been big. Gravity has always been my friend just because my boobs are so big. I never expected them to, like, you know, all of a sudden decide to start defying gravity. That was something I never expected. I knew the way the world was set up for me, and I'm okay with that. These yiddies is going yang, okay? And I'm cool with it. It is what it is, and who not like it can bite it. I think I'm done with my eyes so far. What do you think? I like it. The same thing that's on my... Ooh, Ooh, baby, yeah, I'm probably gonna use this on my eye because that looks really nice. Ooh, cute. I'm gonna change my camera battery. So we're gonna move on because I pretty much don't have time. I'm running out of time here. I'm gonna use my Morphe face palette, the Glam palette, and I'm just gonna use the bronzer to kind of just go over that a little bit. A little bit. I use what I used on my lid to do my highlighter, and it is gorgeous. So I think I'm going to use that. But before I do that, I'm going to set my face. And I'm using the Morphe Continuous Mist. And here comes my family. Guys, so I decided to voice over this part of the video just because my family came home and it got real noisy, but I still wanted to finish the look. As you can see, I'm just using the eyeshadow that I used on my eyelid to put some highlighter on, or using it as a highlighter, and I'm also kind of dabbing some of it out because I feel like it was a little too bright. I'm using my Morphe Deep Glam palette for some blush, the same one that I used to set my contour is what I used on my face. Here I'm just doing my eyeliner, and honestly, eyeliner is the bane of my existence. One eye always goes really well, and then the other eye doesn't dry, and as you'll see, I at some point look up and it leaves a speck on my eyeshadow, ruining the whole thing. And from there, the whole look just goes to shit, for lack of better terms. But I'm just using the Super Hold gel. I love, or eyelash glue. I love that eyelash glue. But in pertaining to being a mom, one of the things I miss about not being a mom is basically having free time. You really don't have any free time, and it's a complicated thing where you don't want any free time because you want your family around, but at the same time you want to be alone because you are exhausted and you are tired from handling everything. So it's a really complicated balance that every mom has to find, and I'm still trying to figure out what that balance looks like for me. As you can see, my eye was watering a lot, so I had to try to fix the creasing, the running and the creasing that was going on underneath my eye, the speck on my eyelash. Here I'm just showing you my Morphe lip liner that I use, which is the color Vibes. Yeah. I love this lip liner. I really thought it was darker, but it's not. So I usually go over this with a darker lip liner, but I couldn't bother at this point. I was already over the look, you know. I'm not expecting perfectionism. Perfectionism and motherhood is not real. It's not real. Get over it. Don't even try to achieve it. Here I'm just using the NYX lip lingerie. I think I showed you guys the color. Anyway, I might have cut it out. But yeah, perfectionism is not real in mommyhood, as you can see from my jacked up makeup right now. It's not real. And yeah, I'll tell you what else just happened. But look at my face though. Besides that little speck. My eye is watering. I just burnt my pinky. Oh my god, it's really hurting. So this is the finished look. I do love it if it was like perfectly done, but perfection doesn't exist here, so yeah. So this is the finished look. I know it's really dark. It's dark now, so you can't really see. My son came home with his dad and my hair did not get to finish straightening. I'm not really gonna go anywhere because my face is not really done properly and my eyes started watering. So this is the last thing I kind of want to say, I guess, is I really enjoy being a mom. It is tumultuous and incrementally rewarding. And if you don't know what that means, it means that it is chaotic most of the time, but there are those small moments where you see your child developing and growing and changing, and it all becomes worth it. But every single one of those moments make beautiful memories, and it's that make life really worth it. And so I love being a mom. Now, my lighting is going. If you reached this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my labor and delivery vlog. It was chaotic, and I did give you guys a little backstory on that. Follow me on Instagram at IamMishaOD, and I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. Take care of yourself. Love on your mother, your auntie, your mother figure, your matriarch in your family. Just love on all of the women in your life, all of the women who have mothered you, and all of the people that you are a mother to. Just take time for yourself, love on yourself, and if you feel like you need help and support, do not hesitate to say that. Find your voice as a mom, speak up for yourself, and yeah, not just today or Mother's Day do you love on yourself. Love on yourself every chance that you get, because Mother's Day is not just one day, it is every day. So make sure that you love on yourself, for real. My eye is all jacked up, so yeah, bye. It's not your situation, I just need contemplation. Oh.